Hi, I'm Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. I'm talking about the beautiful, the vivacious, the woman with the brand new body for 2024. The woman who writes books. It's hard to believe I could get someone of this ilk to even show up week in and week out. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Gina Grad. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
How you doing, Gina?
I'm good. That was I'd like to hear that all over again. I think when this comes out, I'm literally just going to play that intro over and over again, just to like build myself up Rocky style.
You should.
I
By the
will.
way, you mentioned Rocky. Now, you see, you keep mentioning stuff. You know, right before the show, you said two words, or
I'm ready.
you said three words. You said God love her, and
Oh,
it
God love her.
reminded me of this song. I don't know if you know this song. Did you know there was a song called God Love Her?
No.
I don't know if there was any head, so I couldn't play it at the beginning. I couldn't figure out how much head was on this song. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but who is it?
Toby Keith. Turns out that song would have had enough head on it to do it. But yeah.
I've never heard this song before, but I really want to go do a rope swing at a lake right now.
Yeah, yeah. Toby Keith, you know, he did one of my favorite songs. I got to hit my cough button again.
Oh, Vinny's having a tough time today.
Yeah, we've been going crazy over here.
Yeah.
Toby Keith, one of my, I think Toby Keith does this song. You might have to look it up. She's high maintenance, but she ain't looking for a maintenance man. I think that's a Toby Keith song. And it's like, my God, that's the best song ever.
That is hilarious.
You know, because yeah, and that song just tells you everything you need to know. Is that Toby Keith?
Yeah, high maintenance woman.
High maintenance woman. She ain't looking, folks. I'm going to find that before the end of the show, and we'll play that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what that first song reminded me of? I don't know a ton about country, but I do have a weird affinity for 90s country, like that kind of crossover, like weird. Because I grew up in Kansas and I heard it. Do you remember Don't Take the Girl?
Oh, yeah. And that guy sounds like he's crying.
Yes, the whole time. That's Tim McGraw.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And by the way, Tim McGraw grew up like 15 minutes away from me.
Of course he did.
You know, he was an illegitimate kid.
Really?
Yeah, people don't know this about Tim McGraw. His dad was Tug McGraw, the famous baseball player. Your dad, if I said Tug McGraw to your dad,
I'm sure he would have known.
Spitting out stats.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, the Tugger was something else. And yeah, Tug made his way through Louisiana and dropped a seed. And Tim McGraw, his son, became more famous than him.
Wow.
And you know, Tim's wife, he's you know who he's married to, right?
No.
Okay, he's married to Faith Hill.
Oh, he's married to Faith Hill?
Yeah, one of the most beautiful women in the world, in my opinion.
Wow. Oh no, she is stunning.
She came from a town. I heard her tell the story, and she's right across the border in Mississippi. She came from a town that's so small that you want to know what they did for fun?
Yeah.
They counted trains. Have you ever counted trains? Have you ever been bored in your life that you counted trains?
Not once.
I have.
What do you mean? You literally count trains?
You hear a train coming.
Yeah.
You know, you hear they don't say choo choo anymore. You know, it's like, rah, rah, you know,
right,
whatever.
Sure.
You hear them coming, and you make a bet with your buddy. How many cars you think, and the engine doesn't count, is the car right after the engine.
Uh-huh.
And the caboose counts, the last car counts.
Right.
Right. From the first car after the engine till the last car. So you decide how many cars you think there will be, and you make a bet. You're like $1, 50 cents, whatever you got with your kid. Sometimes it's, you know, hey, you buy the ice cream type of thing.
Sure.
So we would do that. And whoever came closest to the number, that's who won.
So if I say, I think there's going to be 15 cars attached to this train.
Oh, I would play with you every day because 15 cars, you would lose every time.
What's an average number that we're
Oh,
talking about?
you better be somewhere between 70 and 100. Oh,
What?
they'll yank, yeah, they yank a bunch of cars,
Oh,
65, 50, you know. Oh,
yeah. I know
yeah.
I'm from Kansas, but I really didn't grow up in a rural setting, so I know nothing from train cars.
Yeah, and she said, yeah, what we did for fun was we counted trains.
Wow.
We would do a thing. We were so bored. We would do a thing where if we were waiting for our parents to come home to take us somewhere else or to do something, we would just watch the cars pass right out on Highway 308, which is considered
Sure.
the longest street in the world, and go, okay, I bet is going to be 10 cars until mom shows up. Or I bet we'll see 7 cars before a black car shows up.
This is exactly why you don't need an iPhone, because you don't have that inner discomfort about having nothing to do.
Right. Right. I think the reason I am the way that I am and my curiosity is the way it is because I got so bored
Mm-hmm.
that I went and found a book and opened the book. When I found out we had 2 sets of encyclopedias. I don't know why we had 2 sets.
Because you had teachers for parents.
Yeah, I think one set got married into the other set.
Mm.
Because both sides of my family were Italian and they were very kind of Jewish, like very big on education.
Yeah.
We didn't get educated. We need to educate this next group.
Right. It was all about the next generation.
Right. And my parents were that generation, first ones to go to college.
Right. Wow.
Right. First ones with high school diplomas. Some of my grandparents never went to my grandfather never went to a day of school. He was working from the time he was
Wow.
6 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a big thing in my family. So we had 2 sets of encyclopedias. And, I found the one where there was this cool thing. It doesn't exist anymore. But in the encyclopedia, if you got to the part about the body, right, the human body,
Mm-hmm.
there was a picture on a page, on a white page. And then that was like just a skeleton.
Right. And then the transparency paper over
Yeah,
it.
you would put the plastic, you would flip
Yeah.
the next page over the plastic, and it would show the nervous system.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
you would put the next one. I think after that, it was like, I called it the guts, right? It was the liver, the
The
stomach,
organs.
the
Yeah.
organs, and the whole thing. It would put the brain and show the brain stem and the whole thing. And then the nervous system, I think, went on top of that.
Then probably the muscular.
Then the muscular,
Yeah.
now that's thrown on, and it made sense.
Yeah.
And I would go back to that over and over and study it. I'm like an 8-year-old kid. And I'm fascinated that this is what the body looks like on the inside.
Right.
Right.
And I'm just impressed that you're going to this book and not the Sears lingerie catalog.
Well, I was 8.
Oh, sure.
Now, when I was 12,
Yeah, it was a different
it was
story.
Sears, right?
Yeah.
It was this swimsuit. And if you wanted to really go hardcore, you would go to the women's lingerie section.
Right. Yeah.
Sears.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Back in my day, you could buy a shotgun through the Sears catalog. Did you know that?
No,
They had
I'm not
a
surprised.
section.
It was a different time.
Yeah, you can get oh, maybe that was JC. No, it was Sears. You could get whatever you want. You just, hey, I need some women's lingerie. I need a shotgun.
Sometimes those go together.
Who knows?
You never know.
Get whatever you want. And yeah, you can just get, back in the day, you get whatever you want.
But this book, because of your boredom, you said, let me go see about a thing. And you were fascinated with it. And it is interactive. I like the way they set that up. And look where it took you. That curiosity about how the body works took you to your career path.
Well, yeah, the main thing that took me there was Jack LaLanne would come on television and he would sit on a chair backwards, and he was wearing a onesie back then. And I would just freak out because he had a vein running through his arm. He's got a big giant vein in his bicep.
Yeah.
And he was a real life superhero. And I was like, okay, whatever this dude is doing, I'm doing. Right. And that's how I talked about in my book. That's how I started working out when I was like 8 years old.
I have a question about that. You may have answered it before, maybe in the book, I can't remember. I know you started going to the gym very, very young.
Yeah.
But before that, when you saw Jack LaLanne, and I love saying his wife's name, Elaine LaLanne, when you saw Jack LaLanne working out on TV and you were immediately inspired, what was your very first go-to in terms of weights? Were you lifting up paint cans or stacks of books, or did your parents get you something?
No, you got to remember, we were big fans of the Our Gang Little Rascals. And
Mm-hmm.
these kids were very industrious. And
Mm-hmm.
I had access as a young kid, just go right into the shed and grab a saw and do what have you, right? I think that's how I learned, how to work with my hands and all that kind
Sure.
of stuff. So um, yeah, it's like, okay, this man is taking a heavy thing and lifting it over his head. He would just stand there and do military press, right?
Right.
He's standing there and say, okay, that's how you get that vein in your arm. I would just as an 8-year-old, you have an 8-year-old kid.
I do.
Your imagination carries you away. The problem with
Absolutely.
your 8-year-old is he doesn't have access to saws and hammers and nails and things that could chop fingers off.
No, he does not.
But
He
we
peels
did.
he peels a nice carrot, but about that's about it.
Okay, so you give him the little scraper.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's his job.
you're a hero, Gina.
Thank you.
So I saw that, and so I searched around, and I found a broom that was not being used anymore because the bristles on the broom are now that short because
Sure.
my family used everything. My family before me was Depression era, so
Sure.
we used everything until it couldn't be used anymore. My grandparents did that. My dad's a hoarder, for
Mm,
lack of any other term, right?
right. And
Um,
if it broke, you fix it. You don't throw it out and buy another one.
yeah, my dad's cousin. Um, I'm just going to call her Serafina because that's her name. Um, but I won't give away her last name. Serafina and her husband, they've done quite well in their life. They got major bucks.
Okay.
Right? And Serafina's younger than my dad, but she's probably mid 70s. My dad's mid 80s.
Okay.
I've been told, I think by Serafina's brother, Glenn, or maybe I heard this from my dad or someone. Oh, my mom told me this. Serafina, who has money, is the same way. She doesn't throw away anything. You see,
Mm.
it's
It's
a keep it. You might need it.
right. It has nothing when it comes to, I mean, pejoratively hoarding, whether they're, whatever. When it comes to collectors, it's a
Right.
mental thing. Does not matter how much money you have or don't have. It's a mental thing. What if I need it? What if I can fix it? What if I can sell it? What if? And usually that day doesn't come, but it's the what if factor.
And I grew up around that, right?
Yeah.
So getting back to, I found a broom that
Hmm.
could not be used anymore. I got the proper saw and I sawed the broom off of the stick.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen not old bricks, not like old St. Joe bricks or any of the old style bricks, but they made more current bricks to put on houses. They had 3 holes in them.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the ones with the holes.
And those holes that was a new way of doing masonry where if you put mortar in the holes, it would it would hold stronger without having to put these other, it's a whole thing, right?
Okay. No pun intended.
Works or not, I don't know, folks. Don't write to me if you're a mason. I don't care. But these bricks were they were building a couple of houses in the
Right.
neighborhood, and I gathered a couple of bricks, and I came home and I put the bricks on the end of my stick. Now,
I knew it.
I should have paid attention to the physics part of the encyclopedia because the part I forgot about was if you tilt this either way a little too much, one brick is going to fall off, making this side really heavy,
Right.
or vice versa.
So you didn't have anything stopping the bricks from falling off because you were 8.
Look, I found a saw. I was very proud of myself.
As you should be.
I couldn't find any couplings to put on the end of the damn thing, nor could I fashion any.
Sure.
So what I figured out, if one fell off, the thing just went jerking the other way, right? Well, I got to where I started doing a thing where I went, okay, I'm going to move the bricks in closer and then put my hands on the outside of the brick.
Outside, you
right?
genius.
You want to talk about genius. Now, here's the deal. It works pretty well, except that sometimes I would keep my hands close to the bricks. And I was so hell bent on getting this up and getting it down and getting it up again. It would scrape up my hands.
Yeah. And
right
pinch.
on the knuckle.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And pinch. And I had cuts and this and that.
Oy.
And my grandfather's other brother, Frank, because every Italian has an Uncle Frank.
Sure.
He was a boxer. He played ball back in the day. He went to the big one, WW2, the whole thing. He's one of these guys that got a Purple Heart and then re-enlisted to stay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Frank was just Frank, right?
Frank the
Matter
Tank.
of fact, when they came to give him his Purple Heart, he didn't want it because he thought they would write a letter home to his mom. He didn't want his mom to worry because she didn't understand English.
Wow.
And they're sending a Purple Heart to an old Italian woman. It might look like my son is dead.
Right.
This man turned down the Purple Heart. Now they sent it later.
This guy's a badass.
And by the way, you want to know what he was built like?
What
do you think this guy looked like? Kind of like Rambo, maybe?
Oh, he's got to be a John Cena type.
Yeah, you would think. But back in his day, right?
Yeah.
He looked more like who's the guy that played Barney Fife on
Don Knotts?
Yeah, built like Don Knotts.
No way.
Yeah, skinny. Guy was ripped out till the day he died.
I love this dude.
Stomach cancer in his 80s. Ripped to shreds till the day he died.
Wow.
Ate meat every day. Did it all.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he was certified badass.
He was the guy that introduced me to Joe Bonadonna.
Right. The gym owner.
Yeah. Well, the gym was in his garage at the time. Joe and I brought all of his equipment into the old St. Joe building and turned it into Joe's Health Club.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the story of that.
I'm so glad I asked because, when as much as we talk about fitness, your story, from what I recall, starts with Joe Bonadonna, which it should. But I was thinking to myself, there's got to be something in between seeing Jack LaLanne on TV and going right to the gym. So I'm so glad you shared that story.
Well, look, I didn't have any, I had the speech impediment, so I didn't really have a lot of friends. I still have the same friends today that I had, Jim, my buddy Jim, who I'm going down the Colorado River with in May.
Of course you are.
For 10 days.
Wow.
But over the years, Jim's got a little out of shape, and Jim's going, "Hey, we're going down the Colorado River." And I was like, "Sign me up. I'm in." And he goes, "Look, we're doing it through this company." I said, "Whatever you want, brother."
Since I know very little about this, are we talking like whitewater rafting? Are we talking kayaking?
That's what I thought.
Right. What are we doing?
So I said to Serena, I said, "Hey, here's something. Here's a text. I'm sending it to you. Get me whatever the works. Just I'm going down the river with Jim." See, when Jim calls, I don't flinch. I just go. It's kind of like when Don Connington calls.
The billionaire Don Connington's Friday 5 o'clock.
So Jim calls and says, "We're going down the Colorado River for 10 days," and I'm like, "Hook me up." Right?
Yep.
Well, there's a problem with that. Serena tells me after I'm all signed up and I paid thousands of dollars and the whole thing. She goes, the boat you're going on the river in? I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's like a whitewater raft. Because Jim's a little out of shape. I don't think we're going to be whitewater kayaking, nor do I want to do that. I don't know where I'd put my luggage. And she goes, "No, the boat's got a motor on it." And I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? But I got to tell you, I'm excited about it because I've always wanted to see the Grand Canyon from that angle.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. It's going to be an experience with my childhood buddy.
That's awesome.
We're going to be doing this together. And I'm sure there's going to be excursions where we can go hike up the canyon and this and that. Every day we're going to get out and go do something, camp out. We're going to be camping out under the stars.
Oh, so this is like the boat experience is a little more, you would probably consider it a little more glamping, even though the rest of us would consider it roughing it.
Yeah, and from what I paid for it, I think they're going to be, you know,
Waiting on you hand and foot.
porting my stuff around.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
kind of-
you'll have porters, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll I'm sure they'll set up a nice tent for you. Oh, Vinny, this is good. This is your idea of luxury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I might as well be in the Four Seasons. I might as well have an Asian woman sucking my toes. Is that a thing?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be the authority on that. But if I were to do this,
Yeah.
I would say, Vinny, I'm doing something off the grid. I may never come back. This to me sounds like Naked and Afraid, so long. But this to you is like a luxury cruise.
And by the way, there was a thing, and Jim writes back to me and he goes, listen, there's a thing where we can do the 7-day version and they airlift you out. They get you back to Vegas and then you fly out. And I said, let me tell you something, pal. I'm not going that far down that river and white guy it out of there.
Well said.
I'm not going to be a baller.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the win. I'm going, you know me, I got to complete everything.
Yes, God.
What?
Yes.
I'll be leaving in a helicopter looking down a river going, I wonder what was over there that next mile.
Yep.
I need to know what's over there. Just like I had to flip that encyclopedia open. You need to know what's in the next mile in life.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
You would be, not only would your pocket be a lot lighter, but you would definitely feel like you missed out.
Oh, I'm sure there was a big, whenever you start talking about helicopters and you're talking about like money.
Yeah.
Because to keep those birds in the air, I think it's like $300-400 an hour in gas. I don't know if you know that.
Serious?
Oh yeah, helicopters are not cheap.
I didn't realize we're talking that kind of money just for the gas.
Yeah, whenever you see Sky 9 and this and that. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it costs several $100 in aviation fuel per hour. I don't know. I might be exaggerating, but it is not cheap to keep those in the air.
Then between your bank account and just being true to who you are, I'm glad you're not doing that.
Oh, I would never do that. But yeah, I'm doing that and I'm looking forward to it.
And when that's in May?
That's in May. That's sometime in May.
So the water will still be crisp.
I'm sure it will be, but I got look, I got a cabinet over here. It looks like REI. I can open my own REI.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll just get what we need out of there, my mountaineering stuff, whatever you have. And look, I'm going to be the guy there, explaining to them they don't know how to set up a tent correctly. It is not going to be pretty for these folks.
And you better tell your friend no snacking inside that tent.
Oh, Jim knows the outdoors. He and I have done a lot of outdoors together. Yeah.
Was he the one who went with you with your nephews?
No, that was the billionaire.
Oh, right. Don't say it.
Yeah, I can't say it if I
you dare not.
No, what's his name, Gina?
Don Coddington.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Don Coddington, Friday, 5 o'clock.
What have I done? But yeah, as long as he knows that you don't want any coyotes sleeping in your sleeping bag.
Well, no, you don't want bears to come around.
Or those.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They'll go full Revenant on you.
Yeah, they'll go, wait a minute. That guy's got, and I've told that story on this podcast when me and the billionaire took my nephews and we were like, listen, guys, I notice you have junk food. Now, I know you think I'm saying this because I don't approve of sugary snacks, but here's what I'm telling you. The reason we don't even use citronella candles in the campsite is because to a bear, it smells like sugar.
Right, like lemon cake.
They can smell sugar from 10 miles away, and they will come get some sugar, right?
That's not fair. So you have to pick between getting malaria and getting eaten by a bear with the citronella?
Calm down, Gina. Nobody's getting malaria. You get a couple of bug bites, live with it. So you listen, guys, I don't need anything in your tent. I don't need to have to explain to your parents about how a bear tried to get at you because you had a Snickers bar. So please.
Right.
Well, one night, because they couldn't sit by the campfire with me and O'Donnell and have a scotch.
Right.
When I was that age, Gina, I would have given my left testicle to be with men sitting around a campfire.
Just soaking it up.
It's chilly. It's a clear night.
Oh.
There's a fire. And you're with two guys that understand the outdoors.
Yeah. Just to be there.
Just the whole thing. It looked like Marlboro country. So
but instead, what did they do?
They were in the tent.
Doing what?
Playing something. Playing it. I don't know what these games are called.
Like playing a video game and like playing on their Switch. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. They had, you know.
Yeah.
So they're both in a tent. And then all of a sudden you hear bags rattling, like plastic bags. Apparently
cellophane.
Apparently the best way to get rid of bears is to shake a bag at them. Yeah.
Really? I didn't realize. Yeah.
I carry two types of bear spray. One is the one you buy at REI and the other one's a 44 mag.
Oh,
and so if the first one doesn't work, I'm going to heat you up with the second one. So all of a sudden we're sitting there and right through our campsite comes a bear.
Oh my God.
It's an old bear. He's so close to us, we can see he's got silver hair on his back.
Oh,
he got more silver hair on his back than I got on my back, and that's a lot.
He's a senior citizen bear.
And everybody's rattling bags. Oh my God, there's a bear. And Don and I are sitting there with our scotch, and the thing just comes walking right through, and I'm like, all right, there you go. But he's not worried about us, and he doesn't want scotch. He's smelling stuff, right?
Yep.
So my nephews hear all this ruckus going on, and they run out of the tent, and all they see is a bear's ass as it's leaving going into the dark.
Yep.
Now, you see, we couldn't get their attention, but the bear got their attention.
Sure, of course.
Because it's now the zoo, but there's no bars, right? So now they realize that Uncle Vinny's not been kidding about the possibility of a bear, right? So they do what millennials do.
Guess.
Go on, guess.
One of them hides and one of them grabs their camera.
Well, one of them grabs the phone and starts Googling, what do I do when I see a bear?
Oh, God. When you have the guy right there, sitting there calm, that could tell you.
Yeah. And look, by the way, I just chopped some wood with my little field axe.
Sure.
So, I still had that in my hand. When I saw the bear, I didn't grab a bag. I grabbed that.
Oh my
because I figured if I got attacked, at least I got something I can knock it. I'm not going to kill the bear with it, but I can knock him off, maybe goop him up a bit until he tries to let me go.
Tune him up, as Conway would say.
Yeah. Take care of him a little bit.
Give him mahogany shampoo with that bat. Exactly.
let him see what he's dealing with.
Right.
From one silverback to another.
That's right.
But I still got I look pretty badass. I have a scotch in one hand. I got a field axe in the other. I gave myself an erection.
I can't imagine you didn't.
Yeah. So one's looking up, what do I do? And Don goes, yeah, what do you do? You stand behind the Italian with the axe is what you do.
That's right.
So they're excited for a couple of minutes because they saw a bear's ass. And and then one of them said, oh, you know what? I think I saw something in my tent. I'm going to go check. He comes out with you'll know I'm not lying because I'm going to tell you how specific this food was. I didn't know it existed until this day.
Okay.
It was called a bag of Swedish fish.
You've never heard of Swedish fish?
Not until that night.
Oh my! And do you know how potent that stuff is? Like super, like artificial, like cherry, and they're like fish gummy bears.
Yeah, it was explained to me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like,
I think I may have seen something in my tent. Maybe.
Hey, Joey, no, not Joey. Who was that? Steele and Hayden. Hey, Hayden, did not see. Then I'm yelling at him, going, "You idiot! That bear could have ripped right through that tent just to get that."
Yeah.
And if you were in the way of it, so be it.
You're just another inanimate obstacle.
Oh, yeah. That's when they finally started listening to Uncle Vinny.
Wow.
I don't
I
know
am
meandered into this, but
I'm loving like the bear. I'm loving these old school Vinny tales.
yeah, and by the way, I'm not sure ever, the idea was to bring them out there and to teach them. So I'm not sure they learned anything.
Well, you learned what Swedish fish were.
I sure did.
That's about it.
I sure did. And by the way, the next day we took a hike. We went up from St. Mary's. We went up to the top of something because I was training them to get them ready for Whitney. I was sleeping at altitude, sleeping at 10,000 feet every night to get their hematocrit level up, to get that red blood cell level up. So that when we went over to Whitney, they would be ready.
Right.
So we're doing that and we're hiking every day and I'm bringing them along slowly. We go up on a hike one day and we're coming down and we're about a mile or two almost back at the thing. I look down, I see a Swedish fish.
Oh boy.
And I went, Jesus Christ, yesterday I didn't know what this was. And here I am facing a second Swedish fish. And then my nephew had to come clean and go, yeah, I was walking behind you. I was eating them on the way up. I must have dropped one.
These idiots.
It's like, come on, guy.
It's like they're trying to get killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're begging for it.
So you just, I'm glad you told that story because I know you're very anti-sugar and NSNG.
Right.
You are now telling us, you've been telling us for years the way that avoiding sugar will save your life in the long run.
Yeah.
You have now given a glaring example of how avoiding sugar will save your life in the short run by a bear not coming to kill you over it.
By the way, Gina, if you ever go camping and not glamping, let's say someone hits you over the head and you end up in a campsite.
Yeah, I was going to say kidnapped. Okay.
Okay. They will go after any food. If you go up to if you go up to the portal at Mount Whitney or any place like that in the country, and you walk into a little general store where you can buy provisions for the next day, most of them have what's called the wall of shame because bears will open your car like a can opener to get in there. So you can't leave food in your car.
Right.
Because bears will go, oh, we know how to get in there. You just go to where the shiny thing is, glass, and just get your claws in there and rip. And then, they know how bears are smart. They will get in and they call it the wall of shame. You'll see brand new, trucks and this and that and the whole thing ripped open like a can opener. So.
Well, and I think that's what happened with, I want to say, one of the national parks, maybe Yosemite, when they've had to do all of this new preparation to keep dumb tourists from getting killed. And the spokesperson said something like, the gap between the smartest bear and the dumbest human is getting smaller and smaller. So we need to do more to protect everybody in the park.
You don't have to protect the bear. You got to protect the idiot.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, folks, I've never shot at a bear, nor do I ever want to. And I know a lot of people are going, 44 mag is not enough gun. Look, at one time when Dirty Harry was carrying it, it was the most powerful handgun in the world. And by the way, that's the gun I bring, the M29 frame Smith & Wesson, the same one you see in the movie.
Ask the bear if he feels lucky.
Yeah. You feel lucky, punk?
Well, do you, punk?
I got to know.
I forgot about that. Oh, my God.
And then he pulls the trigger.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, I'm so glad we devoted today's episode to Vinnie's stories around the campfire, literally, because there's a gadget I'm dying to ask you about, and I guess we can save that for the next show.
What's the gadget? Let's
it's a gadget that is hardwired into your pants. And that is not a euphemism. It's a workout clothing with a gadget in it. And I'd love your take on this because I have no idea if you're going to be for or against.
Folks, tune in next week. I will be learning about gadgets inside my pants. I thought I had the only gadget inside my pants.
You thought you knew everything. You thought you knew everything about gadgets and pants, but you don't.
Being an Italian, I've been grabbing at that gadget my entire life.
Jesus.
You guys have seen how we do. And so, yeah, we will.
I truly don't know if you're going to.
Is this a fitness? Is it a
Yes.
fitness?
Yes.
Oh,
and you could think it's awesome. You could think it's dumb. I don't know.
Listen, if I think it's awesome, I will say, you know me, I don't
Yeah.
pull punches on the show. I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you exactly how I feel. Folks, Gina Grad has a book coming out, My Extra Pet. What do you got, Gina?
My extra pet. No, we have it's already out, available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, but let's go with Amazon. My Extra Mom, a children's book about step families. Currently, My Extra Dad is being illustrated. The illustrations are great. I can't wait for that to be done. But My Extra Mom available now. Go to Amazon, obviously click through Vinnie's banner on his website and join my Instagram page, My Extra Family. All the parenting stuff is on there at My Extra Family. And the Brian and Gina show, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I heard it last week where Brian talked about being in London for the first time, and I
And
was
Paris,
thinking,
yeah.
yeah, he was talking about the channel, and
Mhm.
I've, as you know, I've done that
Many times.
times. As a matter of fact, we missed each other by just a few days. When I was coming back, he was going over.
I texted him and I said, there's a chance Vinny will be there. I also thought of you when he said his only thing he really wanted to do was go in for a hot shave, like an old school hot shave, and said it was the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever.
He's never had one of those.
No, he has them here, but he wanted one in London specifically.
Yeah,
One in Paris sucked, but the one in London was amazing.
yeah. The one in Paris sucked, huh?
Because he
Yeah, I
ended
heard
up at
him
like
say
a
that.
he ended up at like a
Salon.
hair salon, not at like an old school barber shop.
Yeah. Someone that does it right, that really knows how to get that blade sharp and really knows how to stretch your skin and get in there. They really do a good job. But yeah, go check that out. It's a really fun show, folks. So you want to do that. As you hear this, you have a few days left to go sign up for VinnieTortorich.com/VIP. Once I close it this time, I don't know how long it'll be before I open it up, because I want to keep it somewhat exclusive. And people are really loving it. Every time we do it twice a month, what it is twice a month, I keep you guys accountable. And we do these things. People can talk to me live and everyone else is listening. And then we take some questions. Chris is in the room. He takes questions that he sees repeated over and over by several people. He pulls that together and he will ask it as one question. And everyone, I've not had one bad, usually people go, I really love it, but you should, no, this is, people are loving this. So if you want to be part of it, it's open right now, VinnieTortorich.com/VIP. Go check it out. Amazon, you know what to do. Rate and review this podcast. Go do that right now. Just go rate and review it.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to talk about on this podcast. We might get to it in the next show. If not, we'll get to it in the show after that. I said I was going to bring up a different Toby Keith song, but
That's right.
Which one was it, Gina?
You didn't tell me, or did you? I don't know. I went on such a journey on Vinnie's Fireside Chats that I can't remember.
Yeah, we went from 8-year-old Vinnie right to Vinnie yelling at his nephews because the bear went through a campsite. The meandering that goes on in this show.
Yeah, but it ended up having a point, which also is a miracle.
Yeah, it's all a miracle. So on behalf of Gina Grad, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with just a little bit more of Mr. Toby Keith.